All right, let's get after it. So we got the Agua Caliente Gaming Commission curved wall mounted sign. So let's go over that. This isn't going to be too difficult. Just want to hit some of the high spots, go over some of the stuff to look out for. But otherwise, it's not too crazy. So let's get into it. Let's go to the lay of the land. So we have our frame pieces. You got your kerfs, you got your main frame pieces. It's mostly just big jigs that hold everything together. And then we have one install piece. Make sure you get that to Jonathan. Jonathan, look out for that. That'll be your main piece there. You got the skins, front, back, and then the little backer piece. You got a 1/4-inch main spline. That's basically what everything's built off of. This is doing all the work. Look out for that. And then you'll have your two funky curves, 063 to make them easy to bend and all that. So again, I'm just going to go over the high spots. It's mostly just a big old blade sign. Like I say, it's not gigantic, but it's also not small. It's 56 inches, so a little wider than your table, but should be easy to manage. So anyway, so as you know, it's going to fit onto a curved wall, and then it's going to have a 2-inch sort of just a blade sign. Basically, it's going to be like a big old round blade sign, 2 inches wide, and then you're just going to build a skirt around it. That's going to then hug the wall-ish. It's going to, hopefully it looks good, but we'll see. So I just took the measurements of each point of the circle all the way around, lined it up to the segments, and then that gives you this curve here. So good luck. We're all counting on me. Anyway, so what you're going to do is so it's going to basically, this thing's going to turn into one big giant flat cutout letter. It's going to be one giant stud mounted letter basically when we're done. We're going to have 3 1/2-inch all threads. They're going to poke out the back. Talk to Jonathan about how long he wants them. I'm thinking maybe we make them 12 inches out the back. He goes out, drills, see how deep he can get, and then maybe field cut them at a measurement that works for him. Or like I say, coordinate with him, see how long we need these studs. So you're going to start with this spine, and then you're going to wrap it on both sides with the first 090 C channel. Now you'll see where it's important that the spine goes to the back of this whole thing. So it's, and then that way, what you're going to do is here's your cut list. You're going to take some 1x1 and you're just going to skewer it through. So you'll have your 1/4-inch spine. You'll wrap it. I went ahead and made some severe notches here because I realized that trying to tuck these in to the circle jig will be kind of tough. So you'll have to negotiate these long slits and kind of, tuck that up in there and then make sure it works. But so get that in there first, cleco it, go ahead and skewer in your 1/8 all the way across. Good to go. And then put your next ones in there and then just line them up nice like we do in certain blade signs. No big deal. And then you'll see where this will cross over at that point. There you go, my welding part. So you'll see where that crosses over. So you'll have a chance to weld the 1x to the 1/4-inch plate. And then you can tack the 1x to the 09 like we do in blade signs. So that'll give you you can see a nice symmetrical, strong box that's going to sort of hold this whole thing together. I encourage you though to get everything clecoed first. Don't start burning yet. Just get it all together. Put all your interstitial pieces here. You got all your little chunks here that work. This is symmetrical. It can go either way. But that's pretty much it for 090 framing. And then go ahead and take your kerfs and work your way around. You have a left and you have a right. Just keep track of your left and your right. You got your left and right. I think this thing's completely symmetrical, from left to right, but just keep everything. It's just easier that way. Anyway, so go ahead and burn it up. Once you get all that, get your outer return get it all nice and sexy. Then you're good to go with faces. So do your main disc. You have front, which is all closed up, but it does give you access to the bolts for the all threads later. And then go ahead and put the back with all these little openings. That's on the back side. So again, face, make sure that the spine, the 1/4-inch, is to the back. It's justified back. And so make sure the face goes to the face, the back goes to the back. If you want to throw in some safety rivets, fine, go ahead, whatever you feel is good. So anyway, and then, so pretty much you're done with that. And then the other part is to make the return surround kind of thing. So it's a little bit smaller. So you're going to take the other backer here, the smaller one, And then take your 063s, take these little guys here, run them through the roller like you do. I gave you a 90 bend for a fillet weld on the bottom on one. And then I gave you +3 on both sides. So you'll just alternate, so one will be up here and one will be down here. You can chop and make it sexy. This is just going to be Rev channel style. You're going to weld it to the top all the way around. But the main thing, we've done this before. The main thing is get this guy lined up with that and start from there and work your way. And that's it. Pretty simple. Burn it up nice, make it strong. And then, of course, this is going to get a little warpy. But then the idea is once this is all done, one guy could maybe work on this while the other guy gets this all done. Then you're just going to be chocolate peanut butter. Take this, once this is all lordsed up, take this, cleco it. You'll see that it has its own ring of inner clecos here. Get it all lined up, make sure up is up and all that. Because yes, the right side of this is asymmetrical. The right side is a little wider because the wall's funky. So this does matter. I honestly think this could be swapped back and forth, whatever. But this side, make sure that right is right, left is left. And then you're just going to go ahead and lords, and I would say shoot some screws after. So lords it on there, cleco and spot, put plenty of lords, and then shoot screws where needed to make sure it sits there nice. And then that's pretty much it. Front skin, frame, back skin, get this thing built, get it attached to this. And then you could basically send it to paint. So this is the other heads up, is the fact that because the HDU, which we just got updated again, so it's going to be separate. I don't think it needs to have its video, but you're going to have to, and this is for Jonathan too, you're going to have to old school attach this to the aluminum in that there's no way to reference the back of this because all of this, I believe, is going to be routed from the front. So I'm not going to be able to give you any holes or patterns. So when it comes time to assemble the HDU to the aluminum, you're going to have to do old school. You're going to have to get it on there, line it up, measure it, make sure it's sexy. Now, I did give you a whole bunch of .22s in the face, just random .22s that all of these openings are for. You can access the HDU from the backside, even through this guy, even though it looks like an Imperial TIE Fighter thing or a manhole cover, either way. You'll be able to get your frap. You can see where I gave you holes, plenty of holes to attach from the rear, but none of these holes will have the ability to correspond actually. So my suggestion is if you can get this before paint, and if you have time before this goes to paint, slow, smooth as fast, you will have a seam up top that will give you a parallel. So then you can reference that on your table, maybe put the HDU face down, and then set this thing on there face down, get it measured up, get it how you like it, and then take the time to then dimple or go ahead and pre-drill some holes where all of these these .22s are, and get it pre-aligned. Then you can send it to paint because it's going to be panic time after paint. But either way, whatever you guys want to do, or put it on tall sawhorses and work from the bottom like we do. But just keep in mind you need to leave runway after prep or before prep to do old school just assembly. You're gonna have to lay it out and kind of do it yourself. So like I said, there was no way for me to put anything, but whether you want to take the time to tap that HDU later and put studs or whatever, but I do encourage, I'm thinking maybe just 1-inch number 10 sheet metals from the back, but you'll silicone probably and double stick tape it to begin with, but then make sure it's secure. Also, we want to make sure, again, we're not going to have, once the HDU goes on there, we're not going to have access to any hardware. So you're going to double nut some rods through. You're going to put, a nut on the front, nut on the back, but make sure they don't move, whether you put a little lords on there or something, but we're not going to have access once HDU goes on. It's just going to be a big stud mounted letter. So make sure that that's all nailed down as well. So, and then hopefully they don't want to change their logo anytime soon. If they do, we'll have to figure that out. So anyway, that's it. Cut list there. But just want to touch on a few things. Just leave yourself some runway for assembly. It's gonna be a little fiddly, but it's gonna look good. So HDU files will be going. I don't think there's any need for a video or anything like that. I think you guys can figure that out. But anyway, so good luck. We're all counting on you.
Check the technique. Check the technique.